mindfulness, and so mindfulness in Parkinson's, enhancing well-being through mind-body connection. And yeah, I just wanted to go through a little table of contents for you real quick to let you know what we're doing. So intro, talking about the mind-body connection, the benefits of mindfulness, and we're going to use practical techniques, kind of like an interactive thing. It has some resources and then references at the end. My name's Allie, and I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor. And so I do mental health therapy, and I've been in private practice for 3 years now. I graduated from Xavier University in 2021, and I moved to Louisville, and I've been in group practice since then. And I mainly work with Asian American clients and adopted folk. With all my clients, I really do talk about mindfulness because it is so relevant and can help really anyone. But before I was a therapist, I was a daughter. I am a daughter. And so my dad was diagnosed about 10 years ago with Parkinson's disease. And so I've been with him for that journey and that course of seeing how this has changed his life and kind of like modified how we have to do things. But I've also seen him cultivate resilience and strength through this journey as well. That's honestly very inspiring. So he is the reason why I got involved in this organization. And he's the reason I do mostly everything. So I might be here today, but I'm not going to point it out because it's kind of distracting. So yeah, let's talk about mind-body connection. So that just means referring to how our thoughts, emotions, and mental states affect our physical health. And so I think a lot of times with any emotion, if we can feel it physically. Actually, emotions exist in our bodies before our brains are even aware that they are there. So if we're feeling like anxious, we often feel like rapid heartbeat. If we're feeling like really, really stressed, we can often feel tension like in different parts of our bodies. And so with Parkinson's disease, stress and negative emotions can exacerbate symptoms like tremors and stiffness and fatigue. And the physical challenges can affect emotional health. So the mind affects the body, and the body affects the mind. So tremors can often lead to embarrassment or frustration. Fatigue, movement difficulty can lead to depression. Facial expression, that flat affect symptom that is experienced, can make social interactions a little more difficult, kind of leading to further social isolation. And there's studies have shown there's a pretty high comorbidity between Parkinson's disease and anxiety and depression. However, your brain and body are in constant communication, and even though there are unique challenges that come with Parkinson's, there's proper ways to train your mind to support the body. And by practicing mindfulness, movement, emotional awareness, we can build resilience, improve overall quality of life. So what is mindfulness? So mindfulness is just the practice of being fully present in the moment, being aware of our thoughts, emotions, and bodies without judgment. It involves paying attention, intentionally with curiosity and acceptance. I think oftentimes we kind of go throughout life perhaps on autopilot, and we're doing something, but we actually think about either something that's going to happen in the future, how we're going to handle it, or we're thinking about something that's happened in the past and kind of ruminating what could have been different. So mindfulness is about being present in the moment, being aware of what is happening, whether it's good, the bad, the ugly. And it can be cultivated through meditation, breath work, body exercise, awarenesses, and everyday activities like mindful walking and mindful eating. I have a colleague that her entire thing is mindful eating, and that is what she specializes in. It's very interesting. It's feel the raisin. How does the raisin feel? Put the raisin in your mouth. Taste it. And it's a really long process to eat a raisin, but you're really aware of what that raisin's doing. So we'll make you raisins today. But for individuals with Parkinson's, mindfulness can be a powerful tool to help manage symptoms, reduce stress, and improve overall well-being. So in addition to medications, to exercise, to even surgery interventions, this mindfulness can be a complement to those things to help with just the everyday activities. Oh, the benefits of mindfulness just overall. There have been studies just in general, general people. There's also been specific studies for Parkinson's patients and those who participate in mindfulness. We have improves emotional well-being, so kind of fostering that acceptance and resilience factor, increases cognitive functioning. So it has been shown, like MRI studies have shown, that like there are structural changes in our brains that can happen as a result of mindfulness, even with Parkinson's patients, that increase executive functioning, like making decisions, paying attention, memory. It can mindful movements such as like Tai Chi and yoga can enhance motor function and balance and coordination. It's shown to reduce stress and anxiety because it lowers cortisol levels in our brains and helps us relax more, and thus there's better pain and fatigue management because it's all about kind of like relaxing and kind of being with your breath. And if you relax, you're probably more likely to go to sleep. Okay, so leave the chair. So we're going to so the basis for all mindfulness and meditation is breath work. And so, I know you all are really good at breathing. Love that for you. So you've already got the foundation. But we're going to learn how to breathe in a relaxing, like most efficient way, essentially. And so, if you're willing and able, I want you to find a comfy position in your chairs, whatever that looks like for you. And you can either close your eyes or kind of just look down. And I want us, so for a deep breath, it involves inhaling through our nose and exhaling through our mouth. So try that a couple times, see how it feels. Okay, so you guys got that? Part two. And so for a deep, efficient breath, we are, if you are comfortable, able, kind of putting our hands on our bellies or abdomens. And when we inhale, our bellies are supposed to expand. And when we exhale, they go in. So that's different than like taking like a more shallow like chest breath, where our chest rises up and down, like if we were running or like doing like heavy intense exercise. So this is about really focusing on our abdomen area and breathing in through our nose, belly expand, and exhaling through our mouth, bellies go in. And so how does that feel? Good? Okay, so box breathing is a technique that is really simple and easy, and it kind of gives a little more structure to deep breathing, because sometimes when I tell my clients to do some deep breathing, they're like, that's cute, Allie. And I'm like, and when I first was introduced to this in grad school, I was like, weird. So I like more structured things when it comes to like deep breathing, because like I can tell you to deep breathe all day long, and you're like, maybe not. But this kind of gives us something to focus on because our minds get distracted and other thoughts come in. And so being able to have something to focus on as we deep breathe can help us kind of stay in that moment and focus on our breath. So this is what we call box breathing. And so I've got this beautiful picture of a box here. And so boxes are the squares. And so kind of imagine like the four sides of the square and thinking them as like lengths of four, right? And so on the top of the box, we're going to count to 4. We're going to inhale for 4 counts, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then coming down the side is 4, and we're going to hold our breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhaling, coming down the bottom for 1, 2, 3, 4, through our mouth. And then holding our breath again for 1, 2, 3, 4 up the side of the box. So we just kind of like trace the box essentially. So inhaling, hold our breath, exhaling, hold our breath, inhale. Does that sound like you guys got it? You want to give it a try? Okay, so I'm going to count out loud, and remember taking those deep belly breaths, inhaling through our nose and exhaling through our mouth, and we're just going to go around the box a couple times. So we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to hold our breath for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to inhale for 1, or hold our breath for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to inhale through our nose for 1, 2, 4. And then we're going to hold our breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to exhale through our mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to inhale and then hold our breath for 1, 2, 3. So how was that for you all? Okay.
Okay.
And this can be modified if it feels uncomfortable to kind of hold our breath for that long time. We can definitely like modify like the length. It can be 2, it can be 3. Just what is ever comfortable for you. And so that is a quick way to reset, recenter if we're feeling like really stressed, or if we just kind of need a pause. So you learn how to breathe and you learn what the shape of a box was. This is great. I'm great at my job. So we're gonna do a guided mindful movement meditation. And this involves kind of raising that bodily awareness and being mindful like just how our bodies exist in the moment. And so foundation again is that deep breathing in through our mouth and exhale through our, or in through our nose and exhale through our mouth. And yeah, I'm going to narrate. It's another guided one, so I'm going to narrate and you kind of just like follow along if you're willing and able to. It's going to kind of involve starting from like the top of our bodies, kind of working our way down, and then we'll kind of regroup at the end. If that sounds good. I'm excited for this one. So, you know, getting comfy in our seats, whatever that looks like for you. And so we're going to close our eyes or look down. We're just going to do that deep breathing in through our nose, and out through our mouth. Just kind of getting settled, getting centered, being with our breath. I just want you to feel like, you know, your weight supported in your chair, that it's holding you, that's keeping you safe, that's keeping you steady. As we continue to breathe, I want you to, as you inhale, roll up your shoulders to your ears. And as you exhale, bring them down, kind of release the tension. Doing that a couple times at your own pace. So inhaling, shoulders up. And exhaling, bring your shoulders down, kind of letting go any stress, any tension. I hold a lot of stress and tension in my shoulders and neck. So this is kind of a good way to kind of release some of it. And next we're going to continue to do our deep breathing, and we're going to kind of raise our arms up as we inhale. And that's a few. And as we exhale, we're going to lower them. And doing that a couple more times. And like imagine yourself dropping any weight, any tension that you might be holding. And if you notice like any tremors or any stiffness, just being able to kind of acknowledge it and accept it for what it is. And if you do feel uncomfortable at any point, you can always modify, or you can always just visualize it down if it feels difficult to do that. So inhaling through our nose, exhaling through our mouth. Next we're going to focus on our hands. So I just want you to like squeeze our hands, and then as we inhale, and then kind of release them as we exhale. So again, release some tension, release some stress, and as we inhale, kind of inviting that breath in. So that is why we need it, and so we're welcoming it in. And so as we continue to do that deep breathing, I'm going to kind of move on to like just like our core, our torso area. I just want you to kind of like sway back and forth as you can. And you can just be your head if you want. But being able to notice like any sensations, any feelings as you do this deep breathing. Kind of being able to feel stable but at the same time fluid. So continuing that deep breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth, with our abdomens rising and falling. And I want you to find some self-kindness and self-compassion phrases to yourself, because how we talk to ourselves matters. And so as we're here with our breath, maybe repeating these phrases silently to yourself, such as, breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and come back to kind of like the present surroundings. Yeah, so how was that for everyone?
Practicing.
Cool. Yeah, and so sometimes I think we just get caught up in like the busyness of life and we kind of forget that, our bodies are doing a lot and being able to be aware of like, what sensations and what emotions we might be holding in different body parts. So I've got one more I wanted to introduce. It's called the Safe Place Meditation. So again, the foundation is that deep breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. And I do this exercise with a lot of clients who have experienced trauma. So oftentimes people who have experienced trauma have been in a situation where they cannot physically escape, so they're like stuck. And oftentimes if they run into something like just in life that is triggering or reminds them of their trauma, they often kind of like feel stuck at the same place. So this Safe Place meditation is kind of a way to get unstuck and to get to a place of peace, of calm, of relaxation. And even if you can't physically like get to a beach, right? And so having a place that we can go to mentally, even if our life is really chaotic, can be really important and also empowering in a way, because you always have this place that you can go to. If you can visualize and if you can kind of imagine, in this place, it will always be there. So essentially, you're going to run down like those five senses. I'm going to ask you to visualize like silently to yourself things you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell in this place, and making it more vivid and in detail. The more detailed it is, the more vivid it will be. And kind of just imagining what it would be like in this place. And so, again, if you're willing and able, then kind of like get comfy again. And close your eyes and look down. And kind of start off with that deep breathing again, in through our nose and out through our mouth. And being settled. Noticing, when our thoughts and our minds wander. That's okay. And so if a thought does come in, being able to just kind of notice it and it will be on its way. Because we're focusing on our breath right now, and we deserve those 5 minutes just for ourselves to do this. So, in this safe place, and mind you, it doesn't have to be an actual place that you've been before. It can be literally whatever you want it to be. It can have elements that might not necessarily like you would find in real life together, but in your safe place, they're there. So as you kind of maybe pick yourself walking into the safe place, what do you see? What does it look like? What is in the environment? Are you at a beach? Are you at a lake house? Are you at a Waffle House? Are you, at a nostalgic childhood place that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside? What is around you? What do you see? Is it things that, that you found in childhood, or the things that just like bring you comfort in present day? Kind of like visualizing at least maybe 4 or 5 things that are in this place. And continuing to do that good old deep breathing in through our nose, and out through our mouth, as we kind of take in this space that you've designed for yourself. It doesn't have to make anyone else happy, it just has to make you happy. Whatever you find peaceful and calm might not be the norm, quote unquote. It might not be what your neighbor finds peaceful and calm, and that's okay, because this is your place. So we've gone over the things that we can see in our place. Let's move on to the things that we can hear. What can you hear in this place? Is it soft music? Is it the sounds of the ocean? Is it the hustle and bustle of like a coffee shop? Is it just quiet? Is there nature sounds like birds, or rain, or storms? What sounds do you find peaceful? What sounds do you find bring you calm and bring you relaxation? Is it a favorite song? yourself being in this place, noticing the things that you can see and the things that you can hear are the things that bring you peace and bring you calm. As we continue to do that deep breathing, we've gone through things we can see, things we can hear. Now we're going to move on to things that we can touch. Some people like different tactile sensations. And so what around you in this place brings you comfort and peace, brings you kindness and joy? Is it one of your pets? Is it a really fuzzy blanket? Is it maybe you really like bubble tea? Whatever works for you. What are the things that bring you peace and bring you calm? And continue to do that good old deep breathing. And we've gone through the things that we can see, things that we can hear, and things that we can touch in this safe place. And now we're going to move on to the things that we can taste. Is there stuff in this place that you just find comforting? Is it food? Is it gum? Is it a refreshing drink of water? What around you that you can taste brings you comfort and joy? Is it your favorite snack? Is it a recipe that you don't get very often? Whatever works for you, because this is your space. And so we've gone through the things that we can see, the things that we can hear, the things that we can, and the things that we can taste, and the things that we can touch in this space. And so the last one is the things that we can smell. And so what scents are in this place that you find comforting? Is it like your favorite candle? Is it a certain perfume or lotion? Is it the smell of fresh cut grass? What scents are there that bring you calm, bring you relaxation, bring you comfort? Kind of imagining yourself like smelling those things, seeing those things, hearing those things, as if you were in like real life. As we continue to do that deep breathing, you kind of constructed this space in your mind. And again, this is your space, no one else can enter it. And it's fully customizable. And it will always be there if you want to go back to it. So, as kind of like maybe visualizing yourself taking a step back, taking all in this space that you created, noticing all the elements that you've brought in that are just for you, bring you peace and comfort. And I kind of want you to imagine kind of like maybe closing like a door as you walk out of this space, knowing that you can always come back. It is always going to be available whenever you need it. And life can be crazy and busy sometimes and hectic, and you can always walk back through that door. And so as we kind of like walk away and say goodbye to our safe space for right now, having our attention back on our breath, inhaling through our nose, and exhaling through our mouth. A couple more times. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the space here with me. So, how was that for everyone? Does anyone want to share what their safe place looked like, or what elements it had?
Yeah, it looks in my mostly up to
Yeah.
in the afternoon.
Mine was the beach.
Nice. At the beach. I feel like mine is usually like my bed. Like a lot of stuffed animals around me, cause that's just, I find comforting and like warm and cozy. And there's like a cake beside me, so. Yeah, anything you want to do.
I always like doing flyovers.
Your slide here was perfect. It reminded me of mid-mountain pastures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found this template for this is perfect. Soothes relaxation.
And I guess mid-mountain doesn't even translate too well into English.
What kind of elements are in that space?
The only thing that's missing is the picture of the cows.
I'll remember that for next time. I like that. Yeah, again, it can be anything you want it to be, and you can change it, whenever you want as well. I've had clients be like, my safe place was like a cellar. Okay, cool. That's where they felt safe. That's great, I love that for you. It doesn't have to be the convention. Okay, so another element of mindfulness is kind of being aware of how we think. And so there's a modality of therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy. That's just about how our thoughts influence our behavior, because our thoughts do influence our behavior. And I know with Parkinson's, there's a lot of changes that happen in our bodies and our minds, and those can be really challenging when they first come up, and as they progress and as they kind of change and shift over time. And so at the end of the day, can't change that you have this particular challenge. You can't change the fact that you have this disease. But you do have control of the mindset that you have figuring out how to deal with it. So I've come up with some examples that might be common thoughts that have come up for some of you, people that have had Parkinson's or have Parkinson's, and just want to be clear, it's not a bad thing if you've had the red X's thoughts that come up. Like, that is totally okay. I think there is an element here of being able to grieve what has been lost, because in some ways there has been a lot of loss. With any loss there comes grief. And so I am definitely not the type to be like toxic positivity, like everything's amazing, because everything is not, and that's okay. But I am for trying to reframe certain thoughts that come across, because if we have a certain mindset, it's going to affect how we go about ourselves in the world and how we interact with others. So my body is fairly neat because my movements aren't the same, or I feel really incredibly stiff. Instead, trying to be like my body is doing its best, and I can support it with care and movement. I have no control over anything. I have a lot of clients who don't have Parkinson's who very much feel that sentiment. Like they feel like they have no control. And in some parts of their life, they definitely do not. However, there's room for both things. There are things always that we cannot control, for sure. And at the same time, there are things that we can control. And so you can control how you respond to symptoms and how you care for yourself. So you do have choices here. You have a choice to get out and do exercise. You have a choice to practice mindfulness. You have a choice to invest in resources that can help you with challenges that as disease presents itself. There are choices here, and choices can be empowering, especially in the context of something you did not choose. Everything is getting worse. I think like progress isn't linear. I mean, you've probably heard that many times. It's going to look like a bumpy roller coaster And, you know, I'm sure there are days where it feels like, yeah, everything is getting worse and everything sucks. And you are entitled to have those days. And there are 7 days in the week, so you can have those days and you can have other days. So everything is getting worse versus I'm learning to figure out and navigate challenges with strength and flexibility. I think with Parkinson's there is an element of having to have more support from others, just in general. And I think for a lot of us, we don't want to like be a burden and be like too much. But at the end of the day, you're worthy of that support. And even just in this community, there are so many people who have come with love and kindness in mind to help and foster that community here, which is an amazing thing, honestly. Because it's hard to go through things, and it's even harder to go through things if you feel like you're alone. So you do have others. It's just about allowing yourself to connect with them. I can't do the things I used to love. In some ways, that can be really true. Again, that feeling of loss is there. But discovering new ways to enjoy life, engage with what brings you joy. And because I know like the NPI hosts a lot of like sports and stuff and exercises. I've not tried a pickleball class, but I want to one day. But I'm pretty sure like I would never try pickleball if not for, or the idea of pickleball, if not for this organization, and perhaps people who participate also feel the same way. Because there are other ways to garner joy in life, just about figuring out what they are and having the open-mindedness to accept new things. Instead of I hate that I need help. Accepting support allows me to live with greater ease and connection. At the end of the day, we all need help, and that's okay, no matter what. Accepting help or recognizing the need for help is not a sign of weakness, it's actually a sign of strength. And at the end of the day, no matter what, if you're a human, you strive for connection. And again, connection can be very empowering and help us feel not so alone. Instead of my future is uncertain, I take each day as it comes, focus on what I can do today. If day by day feels like it's too overwhelming, take it hour by hour. If hour by hour feels too overwhelming, take it moment by moment. Getting to the next moment. I've been in certain places in my life where it's like, I don't know what's happening tomorrow, but like, I can get to like 2 o'clock. Just like 30 minutes. I can do this. And I know with Parkinson's, and just with a lot of things, especially in like society today, there is a lot of anxiety that is just brooding. And for a lot of people with anxiety, they kind of just want to know like what's going to happen so they can prepare for it. So they kind of do the what if scenario and have like all these different situations that most of the time don't play out. So they waste a lot of energy thinking about all the situations. And so the thing is, the opposite of anxiety or uncertainty is not certainty. Because at the end of the day, we are not going to know everything that always happens. We cannot predict the future. However, the opposite of uncertainty/anxiety is self-trust. Knowing that no matter what happens, you can get through it. You're going to get to the other side, and you have love and support around you to help you navigate that. So at the end of the day, you have a pretty great track record of getting through 100% of the hardest things that you've ever gone through. I'm sure at some point you're like, I don't know what's going to happen here. But you got to the other side. And usually patterns like that don't tend to break. So, affirmations. Another part of like cognitive behavioral therapy. And so again, how we talk to ourselves matters. And that is a choice we get to make of how we talk to ourselves. Sometimes with Parkinson's or other challenges in mobility or other physical challenges, we can get, it can have a negative mindset, a negative impact, of course. But there's a choice in how we frame it and a choice of how we see ourselves. So I'm more than my diagnosis. I'm strong, capable, and resilient, which is true. You were all those things before you got diagnosed, so you remain those things as well. Perhaps we'll be able to strengthen those things along the way. My body and mind work together in harmony to support my well-being, which is true. Your body showing up for you every day, it might look different than it once was, and that's okay. And so you have to show up for your body by choosing to exercise, by choosing to practice, and support groups. I focus on what I can do rather than what I can't. Again, there's room for both, things you can control, things you cannot control. Each day I find new ways to adapt and thrive. I'm worthy of care, patience, and self-compassion. Sometimes I think we're our hardest critics, and we're not very kind to ourselves, but we generally are pretty kind to others, at least most people I've come across. But sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves and get frustrated with, the things that we feel like we should be able to do or shouldn't do type of thing. But at the end of the day, you're still human. And I embrace each movement with patience and gratitude, even though it's different. It's something that we can adapt to. Choosing to focus on progress, not perfection. Again, progress isn't linear. And I say this all the time to my clients, that we're looking for progression, not perfection. And sometimes it is 2 steps forward, 5 steps backward. But there's so much that you can learn along the way as if we continue to get back up again. Again, not alone, support and love surround me. Even on difficult days, I trust in my ability to cope. So again, that trust in yourself that you can get through the other side of this. And I am aware of my limitations. I am still me. You're an entire complex, beautiful person before you were diagnosed with Parkinson's. And you're still a complex, beautiful person, even with this diagnosis. And even though my dad has had Parkinson's for about 10 years now, he is very so much my dad, and I love that about him. And again, I've seen his journey through this disease, and I've seen him cultivate resilience, strength, and hope. It's been very inspiring to me. Every time I go to one of your workout classes and volunteer, very, very inspiring. And I was like, okay, well, if that person can do push-ups, wall push-ups, then I can go do push-ups. And so, again, this is not something that you chose, but it's something that you can figure out ways to accept and move forward with it and still be you, which is a beautiful thing. Does anyone have any other affirmations that they would like to conjure up?
Well, I think these are great. I think, the previous slide was excellent also.
Yeah.
I think that, we all know what it's like to have a good day and to treasure that, and the bad days are not happy, not good. It's hard to get back on track. I think what you said, it just keep on going, it'll change.
The nice thing is all feelings are temporary. And in the midst of like sadness or anxiety or overwhelm, I know in the moment it feels like it's lasting forever, but it does end. Yes.
I don't have Parkinson's, but my observation of the people who I've met and have worked with, which perhaps many would not agree that they possess, but my observation has been how people I have met in this community exhibit courage. And so I would just like to offer that as my observation, and perhaps it would be helpful if one could say, I am courageous and can not just face this day, but create my day. So I've just seen such amazing evidence of courage among this community.
Yes.
Thank you for that remark. Yeah.
Sometimes we think about courage or bravery and like, I'm gonna go climb a cliff. But courage and bravery bravery shows up in the quietest of ways as well. And that's choosing to do things different, that's choosing to have a different mindset. And again, there are gonna be days where everything does feel like it sucks, and I'm all for a woe is me day. Okay? I love all.
Choosing to be here is an act of courage, in my view.
Act of courage.
Mhm.
Choosing to show up to exercise classes, choosing to, make decisions about surgery, if that's a intervention that you want to, look more towards. Cause at the end of the day, time is going to move forward, whether you're on board with it or not. And so, you do have a choice here, and I want to say that as in a way of empowerment. And you all made good decisions a lot of your life. So again, the track record tends to continue on that. I think the important thing about affirmations is that, no matter what affirmation you come up with for yourself, it has to be like slightly believable. Maybe not like, I think I run into like resistance from clients, because when I say affirmations, they're like, it's where you stand in the mirror and you say that you're beautiful, like every day, right? Like, I'm amazing. Like, yeah, it can be that. If that works for you, I love that for you. But that feels cheesy.
Yeah.
And I like cheese. If I stood in the mirror and looked at myself, I was like, you're beautiful. Like, my brain's not believable. No, it's coming out. No. But if, I can be like, I am more than my limitations, and I am still me, that feels believable. Because there, again, more than your diagnosis. That is just part of you. There are so many other parts that still exist. It can still exist in spite of this diagnosis. So, yeah. So, I have some resources here. If you enjoyed me narrating these meditations with my lovely, nice voice, there are other people that recorded themselves narrating those meditations with a nice, soft voice. And if interested, I can always email this out to people as well, with their YouTube links. And there are also so many resources, like other resources on YouTube and on Spotify in terms of mindfulness, meditation. There is mindful eating again. You can have someone narrate how to eat a raisin to you. We can really appreciate that raisin. So, but yeah, there's the preferences, because again, there have been lots of studies done on the effects of mindfulness and Parkinson's disease, and positive things come out of it. With any skill, it's new, and perhaps before you came in this room, you didn't really hear of it before. That's okay. But with practice comes, the more you practice, the better it usually works. And so, the meditations that we did, took 5 minutes, 6 minutes, time in total, with the box breathing, safe place, the mindful movement. We took 2 minutes a day and did box breathing or just deep breathing, and being aware of our bodies. That's more than 0. And that still makes a difference. And so kind of building those habits. With this diagnosis, you've had to learn a lot of new things. So you can learn this too. And again, if you can breathe, you can do this. And we learned what the shape of a box was. So I set you up for success.